All right, here we go. Let's jump into some real sales talk. Working on buyers, systems, models, processes around buyers to be more efficient, to convert conversations initially with a buyer more quickly. Okay, rule number one, let's jump right in. Pre-qualify 100% of the time. Pre-qualify 100% of the time, just like the listing presentation. In the script book, you got a buyer presentation script to be able to ask tough questions like, hey, are you working with a realtor right now? What happens if you don't buy a home? Have you figured out what price point you're comfortable with? Do you understand your purchasing power? Great questions to understand much further than just situation, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car. Okay, look, that's surface level stuff, but motivation in regards to why they're moving forward, how that's important to them, what it means to them. Man, now look, we said real estate's about relationships, and for my ability to have a more in-depth relationship, I gotta ask some good questions. Now, these pre-qualifying questions, when you look at them, you should be weaving them into your conversation at the open house, at the initial conversation, on the phone, at the door, wherever you are talking to a buyer prospect. But these should be internalized questions so that ultimately when you set the appointment and you follow up to confirm the appointment, you're going through some more of these questions, or you're reviewing the questions to make sure that you're on the same page with them, but asking the pre-qualifying questions to thoroughly understand situation and motivation both together combined. What do you think that does for your ability to be seen and perceived as a professional? To ask good questions, to really understand them. Now look, motivation equals cooperation. That's a real sales talk golden rule. Motivation equals cooperation. So if they're motivated, they're going to cooperate. Okay, they're going to answer those questions. So digging in on the pre-qualifying questions helps you understand really what's going on with situation and motivation. Now look, pre-qualifying also helps you understand what objections you might be facing when you ultimately sit down for the buyer consultation. Right? Because at the buyer consultation, I'm looking to be able to get a buyer representation agreement form signed, because look, we don't get paid by the hour. Okay, that we get paid when a deal closes. So I want some commitment, because I'm going to commit my time. I'm going to commit my energy. All I'm asking from you, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, is to commit that if you're interested in buying a home, that I can represent you negotiating the terms and to carry you through the transaction and close. So asking those pre-qualifying questions helps extract also what objections might be in the way that they're considering working with another agent, or that they're just not ready yet and feel uncomfortable kind of working with a agent because they had a bad experience, or they really don't understand the value of an agent. So pre-qualifying allows you to extract those objections that may come or could end up wasting a ton of your time. How do you like to run around with somebody, and because you don't have a buyer rep agreement signed and you haven't exceeded expectations, you hadn't good consultation to propose value and to help them understand and see and foresee the pitfalls of being involved in a transaction to buy a property, walking into a new home site without representation. Some of you guys know what I'm talking about. Okay, so the consultation itself helps you really see what objections might be in the way, and then demonstrate yourself as a professional. Okay, next point. Understanding their personality type. Pre-qualifying helps me understand their personality type. Who am I really dealing with here? Is this more of a C personality type where they're analytic and structures and process and systems and numbers oriented? Or are they in fact a D personality type, right? Who's more driver and bottom line and get to the point, and time and efficiency is more important to them. I personality type, somebody who's more expressive and loves to embellish their feelings and express themselves. S, more amiable, tribal, wants everybody to get along, more down pace on their tone, and calmer when they're talking, and certainly doesn't like confrontation. That's the DISC model, right? And I didn't go in order, but that's the DISC model. If you don't know what it is, Google it. You can take the test online for free to understand different personality types. Because am I speaking their language? Am I speaking their language? If you're one personality type and you're communicating that way, and they're another personality type and they're communicating that way, what's the likelihood that you're going to be able to communicate on the same page? Not happening. Okay, so pre-qualifying also helps you further understand their personality types. Going to be important working with them, and certainly to presenting to get that buyer rep agreement signed. Okay, understand what type of consultation you have to give. Okay, so the pre-qualifying questions allow you to understand what exactly am I going to focus on, what's most important to this buyer, so that when we sit down, I have a higher possibility and chance to get that buyer rep agreement signed. Because let's think about this. Are the buyers paying your commission? Look, we know that, all right? And sometimes they don't know that, though. They just think we're opening doors. They just think we're taxi cab services. They just think we're door openers. And yet all of these other things that we have to deal with in a transaction, many of them don't even know what's going on with that. Even some investors or people that said, listen, we've bought property before, they don't remember, or they don't really understand it. And so at a buyer presentation, you're looking to be able to propose value, seed expectations, and help them see the true value in what you bring to the table, set expectations so that you can navigate this transaction more efficiently and more effectively, ultimately serve them at a higher level. That's what we're talking about here. Every relationship starts at the beginning, and with a buyer, it's at the buyer consultation. So I got to get them to the buyer consultation. Pre-qualify 100%. I got lots more on buyers coming up here. There's going to be at least 2 or 3 more parts. So go make some money. Real Sales Talk.